everyone. This is Dorcas Chandler at dorcasgazelle.com. I hope you're having a great life, a great day, for I am. I'm feeling much better. I came down with the flu and I was hoping to be back sooner than I am right now, but I am back. And I want to continue talking about new goals because it's the first of the year, and a lot of times we set goals. And so, whatever our goals are that we've set, there are some values that I think that we need to look at as far as making sure that we're not setting unrealistic goals or values that will sabotage what we're trying to do. And this is just personal. It's just some of the things that I've went through with trying to set goals for my weight. Not only my weight, my behavior, um, how I handle things, how I try not to always try to figure things out. I am a figure things out person. I need to know why. And so I'm still working on that because that is a learned behavior and I've lived with it for a long time. But that does not mean that I should not or cannot work on rectifying the fact that I'm not going to know everything. I don't need to know why everything. Sometimes we just have to let things play out in our lives. So what I did was I was writing, and these are from some of the phone calls and things that I've got, and I want to talk about unrealistic values. Um, Things that when we get a fixed value in our mind or we get a fixation in our mind of something that we're going to do, and we don't allow for change. And what I mean allow for change is that whatever we're setting up or wanting to change, it doesn't matter what it is, we have to allow for things, unexpected situations to happen in our life. Now, I want to talk from another angle if I could. I want to talk about how sometimes I'll use myself um, is you can expect change, right? But if you are a negative thinker, sometimes what can happen is we have conditioned the mind to say, I know something is going to happen. Something is going to change this desire or this goal that I'm not going to meet it. So a lot of times when we have negative thinking and negative talk, self talk that we tell ourselves, we have to, first of all, understand that when we're setting goals, we not only have to deal with the goal, but we have to deal with our thinking. Especially if we're people that always say, every time I do something, it always fails. Have you ever said that? And sometimes you don't even have to say it. It's just in your mind. I know I'm going to start this weight loss thing, or I know I'm going to work on my relationship with my family, or I know I'm going to be a better employee. But every time I try to do something, something always happens. And so because you have that negative connotation or that negative feeling, you're looking for something to happen. And 9 times out of 10, when we're looking for something negative to happen, it will happen. So the things that I want to talk about, not only expecting change, but the condition of the mind. We have to sometimes say, okay, when we're setting our goals, I have to realize that they have to be real. There needs to it has to be real. Not only do it has to be real, but I have to center my thoughts around my goal, understanding that goals can change and they might not change, but we have to have realistic values, because if we don't have realistic values and we fix values in our mind, what happens is, I knew that was going to happen. I will never ever get me another friend, because every time I get a friend, they always let me down. Really? 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 What we need to do is look at what type of friend are we. Sometimes we're looking at what everybody else is doing to us, but we can't really assess and stop and look back and say, hey, Dorcas, you need to change some things within yourself. And so when I get a fixed value in my mind, then what I have to do is I have to say, okay, I need to work on the conditions of my mind. How can you work on the conditions of your mind? You can educate yourself. And I say that a lot of time. There's no excuse for not knowing what to do. Not when we have the internet, we have computers, we have phones, iPad, whatever. We have so much knowledge and information that is available to us, and we can just simply say, okay, Google, how do I set realistic goals? It's out there. Somebody has already walked this walk. Nothing is new under the sun. Sometimes we think that we're the only one. No. Somebody has already climbed to the top of the mountain before I ever got there, before I ever start climbing. So what we have to do is we have to educate ourselves. I do that a lot. I'm reading and reading and reading in my spare time, because what? I'm trying to be a better person. Now, this is the thought that constantly comes back and forth in my mind. Why did you wait so late? You're already older. And so now that you're older, you're trying to change. It's never too late to try to change. And I say that because I really believe it. I'm not just talking words just to be talking them, but it's never too late to try to change. I haven't taken care of my body all these years, but when I came to the realization that what I was doing was wrong, I'm still trying to change. Now, that does not mean that I always hit the bullseye. But it does mean when I don't hit the bullseye now, because I've learned how not to fix values in my life that's going to make me fail and feel disappointment. We don't deal with disappointment a lot. But disappointment is a big killer to setting goals. Because once you get disappointed, then you start saying, it doesn't work. And then you start blaming yourself. And then you start blaming other people around you. And then you start blaming your family, blaming food, blaming whoever. And sometimes it's just simply saying, I need to step back and look and see what's working in my heart. What's working inside of me that is causing these things to happen. If certain behaviors are constantly happening to us, then the thing that we need to do, or we need to consider rather, is we need to look and see, what can I change or what can I do? Because blame statements, I used to tell them in counseling, blame statements really don't work. When you blame me, it's going to put me on a defense. And so instead of me trying to blame you for my failures, blame you because I'm overweight, blame you for whatever's going on in my life. I don't have no friends, blame you? No, I need to look and see what is it that I can do to be better. So blame statements does not work. Blame statements only make us feel good because it releases the pressure off of us onto somebody else. So if I have a fixed value of goals and the aspirations and places that I've wanted to be by now, and got a business and running a business, and maybe the business is not where I want it to be, and maybe I want to blame it on the fact that, I had the car accident. I didn't have the car accident, but the car came through the school, And so what I had to do at the beginning of this year is, Dorcas, stop it. Don't blame where you've been to where you're trying to go. Now, this is really what happened to me this year, and we're just started. But it was like, stop blaming the accident of your school. Because even though that happened and it was negative and it caused certain things to happen in your life that you didn't want to or that you weren't anticipating, it still happened. But what are you going to do about where you need to go? Are you going to stay stuck in your mind? Or are you going to look and say, what happened good out of that car coming through the wall of my school? And this year, when I really stopped to think how blessed I am, and I thought about, I thought about how that I could be dead, but I'm not. And the thing that I was sitting and I was telling God, I thank you, because you know what? I went to get the papers, and I've said this on some of my taping. I got up and went to get papers to file, to put into the file cabinet. Excuse me. And I hate to file. So I'm going to leave the filing for somebody else. And so when I went to file, I took the papers down. I opened up the file cabinet, and I said, nah, I don't want to do this. I threw the papers back in the basket. I went and sat down, and as soon as I sat down, the car came through the wall. Now, this is the grateful part of it, was God spared my life. Not only did he spare my life, but I still have my right mind. I still have some activity and movement of my limbs. I still have, God let me take care of both of my parents. Because the accident happened one year, my dad got cancer the next year. I took care of my dad. My mom she was old up in age, and God let me take care of her. I'm telling you, those are the most precious things God has ever let me do, was take care of the people who took care of me when I couldn't take care of myself. See, I remember. And so I'm looking back now in gratitude. And that's my theme for this year, gratitude. Be grateful, not for all the mistakes, but be grateful for the things that you have. When I was in the hospital the end of last year for a day, the night, and then a day or whatever. And, I was trying to get my calendars out for the end of the year. And so there were some mistakes in those calendars. And I was trying to get one to my doctor and one to Don. And so I'm trying. I got a doctor's appointment I got to go to. And so I didn't really proofread them like I should. I had sent them to Marty. I had made changes. And there was mistakes in those calendars. Now, if you know anything about Dorcas, and this is the thing, I gave those calendars to my doctor and Don. And I came home from my doctor's appointment, and it was, you need to look at those calendars. So when I looked, I was like, oh my goodness. I spelled loss, weight loss, L-O-S-T instead of L-O-S-S. And then I did not put Thanksgiving on the calendar for November. And there was a couple of other things. Now, because I'm dealing with, you don't always have to be right, and yes, you do make mistakes. And if anybody knows that I make mistakes, God knows and Dorcas knows. But I remember the time I would have been sitting down at the computer, getting it right, paying somebody $20. Take it down there. Could you take it down there right now? Tell them I just made a mistake and this, that, and the other. I said, no. I made a mistake. I made some mistakes in those calendars. But I was not going to allow myself to get so worked up over the fact as to why did I make why didn't I do this? I'm not doing that. And I didn't. And I said, I don't go back until March. I don't go back to the doctor till March. And I said, I'll take them the corrected versions then. And so not only that was, I had boxes of calendars that were stacked to go out in the mail. I had to take those boxes of calendars, take them loose. I lost so much money just making a mistake. But thing about it, I felt so good that I could honestly say, you know what? All it needs to do is be corrected. It ain't the end of the world. Just correct the mistakes. And I sit up at nighttime. I was taking calendars loose. I was reprinting. I had to get ink. I had to get more paper. I had to get more supplies. And I had to do all these things. But the good thing about it was I had peace because I'm learning that I set a goal. It didn't come out the way that I wanted it, but it could be corrected. And I think that's what I'm trying to say. Sometimes we're so hard on ourselves because we have unrealistic values about who we think that we are. And not only who we think that we are, but sometimes people will put unrealistic values on you that they don't put on themselves. You will never ever be able to please nobody. And I don't even think we can please ourselves at some points. But what we have to do is we have to be the best that we are. And what I'm trying to do is condition my mind. I'm trying to condition my mind. It's not what you think. I would not have made those mistakes just to be making them, but I made them. I came home from the hospital. I was a couple of more days. I was going to see my doctor. I wanted it this, and I wanted to make sure that she got them before the end of the year, and yada, 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 yada. But I made mistakes. And I said, I am not going to work up myself in a frenzy like I have been in the past. I made some mistakes. I need to change them. So what do I need to do? What I'm asking God is to give me a balance. See, sometimes the pendulum, it goes all the way over to the extreme. You can just be an extremist. I do everything right. I don't make mistakes. And I got a business and you're passing out calendars and you just a frenzy. You know what? They're just calendars. And did I want to make them? No. Mistakes? No, but I did. So what I'm doing now is I'm understanding life changes. And so no matter what we're going through, everything that we do, some things we will succeed and it will come out great. Sometimes we will start doing things and we will mess up and we will feel regret. I felt bad that I did it, that I didn't proofread before I left. But there was nothing I could do because they already had the calendars. So what I'm doing, what I'm trying to say is we have to set our goals and center them around realistic values. Now, the realistic value would have been, Dorcas, you need to look at this calendar before you give them out. And it would be better for you to send somebody to take the calendar or even put the calendar in the mail than for you to just look at them and say, okay, they look good, and that's all. So the realistic value of what happened with the calendar was it was not realistic because I didn't allow myself enough time to do what needed to be done. So fixed values without change can drive you into a frenzy. It can make us be disappointed. It can make us blame ourselves. What is blame about? If it's wrong, let's correct it. If it can't be corrected, let's move on. And that's what I'm telling you, that I am so excited about what's happening in my life. And I'm telling you, I have set so many goals since 2015. And some of them have worked and some of them haven't. But I just start resting in who I am and loving Dorcas for who she is. And I'm telling you, I enjoy eating. I cook. I enjoy being home by myself. I'm getting ready to go out, and I had told you, I think I told you all about, I wanted to go to some senior places, and my insurance, I just got a cab card because I don't have a car right now, but I am going to get a car. And so I got this card where I'll be able to ride the cab. And so they just put a new senior community center, right down the street from me. And I am so pumped by it, because what that means is that I can take that senior card and get it and call a cab. Now, this is what happened Sunday. Let me explain this to you before I get out. So Sunday, I came in, I got my mail, and I was looking to see the cabs and see, okay, my left side, I have a problem with my left side. And I've had a problem with my left side ever since I crawled out of this hole to get out of my office. But that's going to be fixed. But anyway, it's hard for me to do anything from without getting, I can't get in the back of a car. I don't think I can get in the back of a car. So what happened was, I was trying to rethink this thing, overthinking again. God, what if I can't get in the car? I can't get in the back seat because of my left leg. And so I was just trying to figure it out. And I said, you know what? I'm going to try. Because what if I can get in the back? I don't know. So when I came home Sunday and I got my mail and there was a card in there, and they got a list of cabs. And so it's not just one, you can call a different one. So I called one of the cabs and I seen the fees and everything, that's no problem. And but I was concerned about getting in the car. So I asked this man, I said, is the only place I can sit is in the back seat? That's right. I can't sit in the front? No. I said, because I have a problem with my left side. Can't sit in the front. You have to sit in the back. And I said, oh, okay. He said, you could call this lady on Monday and see what she says, but you can't sit in the front. So I said, oh, okay. So I got off the phone. I was not going to be defeated or disappointed. I said, I got this whole list. I'll just call them. And then I already have set up Uber on my phone now also. And so, because I'm determined, I'm getting out of this house. I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I'm going to do it. Do you hear me? I'm tired of being in the house. So anyway, I called the next one. And I asked the man, about, they got this thing that says wait time. They'll wait for you. And I don't really want them to wait for me unless I'm going to do my blood work or something like that, whatever. And so I said, sir, are these your prices? And he said, yeah, they charge so much per mile and whatever. I said, sir, I have a problem with my left side. He said, okay. I said, is there any way I can sit in the front? Sure. I said, I can sit in the front? Yeah, you can sit in the front. You don't have to sit in the back. Now what if I had stopped? Now before my thinking, I wouldn't have called another person. But I'm determined that I'm getting out of here to go do something. I don't know what it is, but I know that I'm going to do something. So this man, he was so, I said, but what about my walker? I'll help you with your walker. I'll help you with your walker. I said, but what is this thing about wait time? What does that mean? He says, if you need to go somewhere and you want me to wait for you, I'll wait for you. You just have to pay for it. No problem. What am I saying? My thinking used to be, every time I try to do something, it fails. But this time I said, somebody gonna take me somewhere, and I don't know who it is. And I had called Uber, and Uber does have something for people with disabilities. I'm gonna find me somebody. And so God blessed me by showing me that don't get things so fixed in your mind that you become disappointed and feel like you can't do it. What am I saying? Don't be disappointed this year. And I know disappointment comes, it comes to all of us. But when we become disappointed, disillusioned, disheartened, or feeling like that we can't make it, try, and try again. My slogan, I got it on my refrigerator. I've been writing it on all my letters for years. Never understood that it would mean something really personal to me now. And it is, never give up. Never. We don't have to have unrealistic goals or values. All we have to do, if it didn't work, try again. Hey, I love you. I hope you have got something out of this. And I hope by the next time that I talk to you, that I'll be done told you I'm coming back and tell you somewhere that I went. I know that I start therapy in February, but I'm going to tell you, hey, Dorcas was in a cab, and you know the thing about it is that my life is been so I don't know what you call it. We've always had cars. I've had a car since I was 16. Sheltered is the word that I'm looking for. What is it like to ride in a cab? I don't know, but I'm gonna let you know. When we went to Hawaii, my dad, he had to go with us, and so he went with us. And I said this before, and I'm gonna go. And he would, he's the man with the money. So when we got there, he was like, "Okay, we're gonna be riding the bus in the morning, and we need to be leaving. We're going to the Polynesian Garden." I said, "What time we gotta leave?" And he's like, "We gotta be up. We gotta be downstairs by 6 o'clock." Ain't nobody want to be going downstairs at 6 o'clock, Dad. We work all week and we go to work and get up early all the time. I don't want to be getting up early. So he's like, well, that's what time you got to get up. So then my friend, we didn't have a credit card. I said, girl, come on, we're going down to my dad's room. She said, what you going to do, Dorcas? I said, I'm going to tell my dad. I'm going to ask him, hey, Dad, can you rent us a car? And so I went down there, and so my friend Rosalind, she was just standing back, like, Dorcas, you shouldn't be asking your dad. I said, girl, come on. And so we went down there, and I said, hey, Dad. He said, what? I said, can you rent us a car? What? Can you rent us a car? And guess what? He rented us a car. So we could get up when we got ready. So I could get up when I got ready, because everybody was gone by the time I got up. I was not getting up early on vacation when I'm getting up early in the morning to go to work. And so don't lose hope. Just keep on trying. And I'm telling you, so I hope I'll be able to tell you. I'm going to be able to tell you somewhere I went, and I went in a cab. Oh my God. This is so funny. And I have lost some weight. I need to lose some more weight. But I am grateful for the weight that I've lost. I was looking in the bathroom. I said, girl, you go. I can tell that I've lost weight. I'm enjoying what I'm doing. I'm enjoying the fellowship of each one of you that email me, call me, talk to me about different things. Hey, I love you. This is Dorcas Chandler at dorcasgazelle.com. And remember, never give up, never, because God is on your side. And if anyone haven't told you today that they love you, I love you. Bye-bye.